Hello everybody, Chris Wood here. Congratulations to the one known as Bill Wooldridge, an alias, goes also by the name Robert Cross, James Bubbles, Bill Wooldridge, Bill Coolidge, and Stephen Mavis, or Maven. Lives at 149 Center Street North, Napanee, behind a law office, a White House, approximately 60 to 70 years old. He is a child stalking pedophile. He is a rat informant for Ontario Provincial Police. He is a child stalker for ex-O.P.P chief or commander year 2019 before leaving O.P.P. It drove a white Jeep Wrangler. They're involved with sex slavery, human trafficking, human sex trade, slavery trafficking, injuring, torturing their victims, falsely arresting, stalking, committing elderly murders, and torturing and murdering animals as well. Full physical identity theft and changes to frame their victims, causing homelessness, shipping their victims off to Kingston to not get any help, so Kingston police can actually finish fucking their victims over for them. Ones that are guilty of murder, first degree with intent to commit. Ontario Provincial Police, Spencer Mills 14716. He needs arresting and criminal charging. He needs to be fired, his pension taken, and locked up and put in prison for the rest of his natural life, along with the ex-O.P.P chief, who is a pedophile sex slave trafficker who had me shot back in 2019 before he left. Drove a white Jeep Wrangler. This is when the problem started with me. No criminal record or history. Lies about that. Lies of criminal record and history. Lies of psychological record and history, lies about drug use, lies about being a suicidal self-harmer. So when the police, mental health workers, Stacy, and the doctors are murdering and torturing and committing these crimes against their victim, they are above suspicion, so their victims will not be taken serious about the crimes that are taking place against them and by whom. I am the end of my bloodline, and this is how O.P.P are doing it. They are using the doctors here who are criminally negligent and accessories to co-commit and cover up for themselves and Ontario Provincial Police, the ones named. There is a justice of the peace who is also involved. I am the end of my bloodline. Full physical identity theft, lies, time buying, cover-ups, sex assault, how O.P.P get away with their crimes through the doctors, their lies, their false guise of law, stalking, using these pieces of shit who they are given what is called remote neural monitoring to, using it to broadcast, be illegal surveillance for O.P.P, Dale Hartwick for drop charges and free drugs, Ray LeBleau to continue being a drug trafficker. He is a child groomer. Every one of these cops are gay. Every one of these cops are stalkers, and every one of these cops are guilty of murders, drug trafficking, human trafficking, sex slavery trafficking. How I am going through my identity theft, I'm having problems thinking. My brain's been being so fucking fried for the last 4 years and not being able to get any help while being called a liar, being called hallucinating, being called delusional about what has taken place with me. This is why and how it is happening and getting away with. I have not been able to bring any charges or arresting against anybody conveniently. When you try, people end up murdered through the cops, i.e. my mother. December 20th, 2020, Shannon Cork, you were well aware of what was going to be happening to my mother as well when you laughed in my face and I told you to arrest your boss back in 2021, approximately, when you showed up at my door for your illegal street theater bullshit in an attempt to try to make me look crazy. You've done everything to try to discredit me, to get away with this, while even having me falsely charged to buy time, to keep me from medical help under threats that if I try to get medical help, I go to jail, I get arrested. The CEO of a hospital is criminally negligently involved and needs to be arrested and charged, but conveniently, because he owns a lot of money and he has a lot of power in this town, these cops cannot touch him. Even patient relations for a hospital is guilty of attempted murder and being a criminal negligent accessory with intent to commit, even to the fact of telling me that the hospital has washed their hands with me and they want me dead. And this is exactly what's going on. I am not taking a fall for any fucking Jay Gimpy two-step Van Alstyne, any Tyler T. Baglake, any fucking Blair Hardy, because they're obsessed homosexual brain frying fucks. And this is how O.P.P are getting out of their crimes, and hopes to frame me as one of these sex offending low-life pieces of shit because I have illegal prisoner tracking on me. And this is why Kingston Police is fucking stalking me when I am there, trying kicking me out of Napanee to prevent me any medical help. I believe I was falsely charged, while these people have to prove nothing. They have to prove nothing under the threat that if I try to get medical help, then conveniently I get arrested and more charges are put against me. My legal rights, my human rights, my medical rights have been taken from me because it's through the cops, through Lennox and Addington, Ontario provincial police, who are the most dangerous and corrupt pieces of shit going on the planet. Because they can be, because this is a small town, because of what they are doing and how they are going about it, is how they are getting away with them, because they have doctors, justice of the peace, brain frying fucking people's brains, sex assaults, kidnapping, getting blood and piss on from their victims, committing full physical fucking identity thefts with wanted harbored inmates, sex offenders. How many people have you framed, O.P.P? How many people have you actually bought and sold? How many lives and bloodlines have you actually murdered because you can, you low-life fucks, and not having to answer for nothing? How many identity thefts have you committed actually to frame victims? You are guilty of murdering the entire Wood bloodline by doing this, as I am the end of mine, through sex offending low-life fucks and using Kingston Police to fuck me over even more, to stalk me. You're gang stalking low-life pieces of fucking shit who have to answer for nothing because of your badge. I am here in Napanee. If anything happens to me, I get followed, or in any way, shape, or form anything happens to me, it will be to shut me up, it will to prevent me help, it will be to prevent any arresting and charging further on O.P.P. Luckily, these cocksuckers do not work for the public while taking public money to serve and protect only themselves and their criminal interest, while having to prove fucking nothing, using rookies and everybody else also to give orders to take or to follow their fucking in their crimes. I went to a justice of the peace to get private prosecution, and the very same day it happened, because she was going to be named as a person involved. It happened to me before I had a chance to file anything, being surrounded by O.P.P to prevent any fucking anything criminal on them or anyone else. The kidnapping, the fucking having a Judge Chappelle try to aid a Shelley Huffner in my kidnapping May 27, 2021, 24 hours after me asking for help with crimes that are taking place with me and not getting anywhere. This is the O.P.P in Lennox and Addington, Napanee, Ontario. You think you know? Drug trafficking, lacing fentanyl, using Jason Gimpy two-step Van Alstyne to commit murders for him by selling it in Kingston and in Napanee to drug addicts, to the homeless after causing homelessness. How many people have you actually caused to go homeless? How many identity thefts have you actually committed? How many bloodlines have you actually murdered while using your fucking badges, positions, your false guise of law, and these pieces of shit junkies that you have to answer for nothing, while they are unarrestable as well because they own you, because they work for you, because they can implicate you. And I will not be proven wrong. Public beware, families are murdered and missing. It is Ontario provincial police who are committing these crimes. I've proven my identity theft. I have proven the deforming and everything else while being called a delusional, hallucinating liar and a retard by hospitals because they are fucking criminally involved. You speak police crimes to try to save lives, you will have prisoner tracking put on you. You will be stalked, you will be injured, you will be tortured, you will have a lot of labels and lies against you while not being able to do anything so they can get away with it because of who they are and the crimes that they are committing. Research remote neuromonitoring. It's been in use since the 1960s. Ontario Provincial Police, Lennox and Addington are guilty of full fucking domestic terrorism. Using this because it's a small town with a lot of people who do not understand technology, do not know what technology is, or refuse to believe that the cops are the bad guys here, that they are the ones that are committing these crimes successfully under unsuspecting eyes and noses, right down to committing fucking full physical identity theft and murders. With one at Harvard inmate sex offenders given drop charges to Dale Hartwig for fucking aiding them to be a rat informant. Tyler Teabag fucking Lake, a piece of shit who is only approximately 30 years old. Jason Gimpy Two-Step Van Alstyne, who is a crack-fed, crackhead little piece of shit. And O.P.P. in Kingston as well. He's dealing laced fentanyl through the hub in Kingston to commit murders. O.P.P. are also involved in forcing murders as well, forced suicides. They're labeling their victims to be suicidal self-harmers, so when they're torturing them and injuring them, they can use that to get away with the fucking crimes that they are getting away with. You're labeling them as drug addicts, so when something happens to them, they can use that as a lie. Long criminal record or psychological record, so they can use that as a fucking lie. Lies about being suicidal self-harmers and all this other bullshit, so once again they can get away. I can barely talk. My life has been a fucking joke. You're guilty of murdering my mother, you're guilty of murdering and torturing my dogs, and you're guilty of murdering the Wood bloodline by doing this. If anything more happens to me, I am in Napanee, Ontario, right now, till tomorrow, and then I'll be back to Kingston to be on the streets, homeless, which O.P.P. are guilty of, and if I have anything happens to me today, December 30th, 2023, in Napanee or in Kingston, it will be to shut me up, it will be to finish this, because this is pretty much fucking done. Full physical identity theft and changes by homosexual, human trafficking, low-life pieces of shit cops and their fucking boss boyfriends because they suck their dick, because they can implicate them. Bill Wooldridge, or the one known as Bill Wooldridge, thinks that he and I were switched at birth, believes that he is fucking Harry Potter. He's a delusional, psychotic piece of shit, the one that lives behind Cowell Law Office in Napanee, Ontario, in a white duplex. The one that's approximately 70 years old, that also goes by James Bubbles and Robert Cross, possibly Stephen Maven. Blair Frederick fucking Hardy, who is boyfriend to Spencer Mills. So they are very seriously and dangerous corrupt here. Families are murdered and missing, and anybody else, poor, elderly, disabled. Watch yourselves, because I tried to speak up and save lives from these fuckers, and as a result, my identity's been stolen. I've been accused of a lot of fucking things that nobody has to answer for, and this is why O.P.P. are here in Napanee committing these crimes, because of who they have to back them up, cover up for them, while using their badges, positions, credentials. Beware, be safe. You are low-life fucking filth in one way or another. Everybody involved for 4 years will answer for this regardless of who you are. You are not the law or above them regardless what you think. And once again, anything happens to me in any way, shape, or form, it will be to prove me right. It will be to shut me up. And yes, Kingston Police are involved with O.P.P as well, along with the hospitals. This is how they're getting away with this, by preventing me medical help and having their victims falsely charged to do it.